Hey guys, welcome back. This is Suzanne Burns here of BeCharityWise, author, speaker, coach, and founder of BeCharityWise. My goal is to train churches and nonprofits to be more effective in how they minister by understanding trauma and poverty mindset and addiction, and how those factors are affecting the people that you're trying to serve in some surprising ways. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the pair of aces. This may be a term that you're not very familiar with. It may be a term that you know very well, but I wanted to take just a couple of minutes to explain, first of all, what aces are, and then how you can use this information in your own ministries, and why it's so important and so effective once you start using this tool. First of all, the ACEs, ACEs stands for Adverse Childhood Experiences. And what this is, it's a 10-question survey that was developed in partnership with Kaiser Permanente, the Center for Disease Control, and a brilliant doctor named Nadine Burke-Harris. Now, she has a wonderful TED Talk that really explains the roots of how all of this was developed, and I couldn't recommend it high enough. It really is excellent. And you get a really good understanding of the medical side of why ACEs are important to research. But what I want to talk about are the things that are going to be more specific to you in your ministry. So these 10 questions, what they're designed to do is they ask people a series of questions in from birth to 18. How many of these particular scenarios did you live through? And it asks questions like physical, emotional, sexual abuse, neglect, whether emotional or physical neglect. Did you have a parent who had a substance abuse disorder or committed suicide? Did you have a parent who had mental health issues? And those kinds of questions. So each question is different and relates to a different category. So once you've completed this 10-question survey, you now have your ACE score, which could be a 0, meaning you didn't experience any of these things, all the way up to a 10, meaning I experienced one of everything, and sometimes more. Now, that's the traditional ACEs, Adverse Childhood Experiences. There's also been discussion about more community-wide ACEs, Adverse Community Experiences. So things like living in the inner city would fall under that, or were you a part of a minority, or are you a refugee from somewhere else? What are the systemic problems that may be affecting you that's not necessarily on a personal level? So the ACEs, the traditional ACEs, are more individualized, and then the adverse community experiences are more the world in which you live. And so the two combined can really give you a big, broad picture of what this person has dealt with. So one of the reasons why this is so important is once you understand the person in front of you, their ACE score, you can really begin to understand what is likely to be at issue with them. Here's an example of why that's important. If you have an ACE score of 4 or more, you are 1,200% more likely to attempt suicide. So as people are coming through your doors and you're asking them these questions, it's going to paint a really good picture for you of what is likely going on in the back of their minds, what is likely to be an unreported issue. So let's say, for example, let's say you help with rent and utility payments. So people are coming to you and they're telling you these sob stories every month, asking for you to help them pay their bills. It's a great type of ministry, and it's very needed. So let's say you begin asking these ACEs, and you begin to get a read on what their history looked like prior to coming to your offices, prior to being an adult, really. And you start seeing that your clientele generally has an ACE score of 6, 7, 8, which is pretty common in the poverty culture. So as you're using these tools, you're beginning to see the increased level of trauma that they've experienced. And from there, you can begin to understand that because of the changes to their brain chemistry due to the adverse childhood experiences that they experienced, due to the childhood traumas that they experienced, they are not as capable of planning, of thinking ahead, of organized thought, of recognizing that, it may be the 3rd of the month and I just paid my rent, but I'm going to need to pay it again in just a few weeks. And so when they get when suddenly they're flush with money, somebody pays them back, or they get their government check, their SSI, or whatever it might be, the chances are, in the poverty culture, they're just going to go spend that money because entertainment is of greatest value, and money is to be enjoyed, not to be saved, and which is a whole nother topic I'll talk about another time in another video. But so as you're seeing these things, you're seeing the poverty culture coming through on one side, and then you're seeing the trauma culture come through on another side. It really begins to paint a very good picture for you of how you can better help your community as you're continuing to give out gifts of rent and utility money. You can begin to start doing things like financial training, financial literacy, helping them build savings accounts, helping them, maybe you have a local credit union that could partner with you, and every time for each percent they put in, the credit union may match it. There's federal grants that are available for things like that. Sometimes there's also local bank grants, individual bank grants from many banks have a individual foundation that you could apply to help with that. And so these could be some ways that you could use this ACEs technology, this ACEs information, to be able to better meet the needs of your clients. Another way that you could help is just in terms of your church members. Let's say you have a couple who's really struggling in their marriage, and they have small children, and they have a testimony and of struggles, and now they're coming to you looking for help. They need help. And so as you do this ACE score for both of the adults, and you begin to see the trauma backgrounds for each of them, and how some of them overlap, but some of them are very distinct and different. One of the ways that you can use this information is in terms of pastoral counseling, being able to help them recognize that your fear response is to lash out in anger. Your fear response is to fight, while the other person's fear response is to freeze and to curl up into a ball. And so when you guys get angry, or when you're having an argument, you're going to be lashing out, and you're going to be just taking it and hiding and just kind of emotionally receiving all of this. And neither of which is healthy, and neither of which is going to build a good, strong marriage. So you can see how you can use this information in a lot of different ways, and it really isn't. It's something that's very easy to use, very easy to understand. A third way that you could use it is in using this with your volunteers as well. One thing at the maternity home that I run, we do this on everyone, volunteers, interns, and clients as well, paid staff of course too, so that we get a good understanding and they can understand the differences. One thing that we've found is the vast majority of our volunteers have an ACE score of 0 to 2. That's pretty typical. Our clients, on the other hand, tend to have an ACE score in the 7 to 9 range. So they have vastly different backgrounds, vastly different understandings of the world in which they live, vastly different histories. And so we can begin to use this information to help our volunteers better understand our clients, but also to help our clients better understand the volunteers. they don't have the same history that you do, and they don't understand how hard it has been for you to overcome these challenges. And so when you blow up in anger and they get hurt and defensive, these are the reasons why both of you are responding the way you do. And so it really has been hugely transformational for us to be able to use these questions. And it's such a simple questionnaire. In fact, I'll send you a copy of it, and I'll send you a copy of the of this graphic of the pair of aces as well, so you can really see how these things connect together. But I think that as you begin using this with some of your clients, do it on yourself too. Do it on yourself and on your spouse and on some of your staff, and really understand how it works from a personal level. And I think you'll very quickly be able to see how effective it can be to help you grow and strengthen your service to the people around you. So I look forward to hearing from you. Let me know what other questions you might have. Just respond to the email, and I look forward to talking with you. Bye now.